feel like men are still looked at as men, number one. So there's no competition like it is in the West.
Yeah.
So approaching women here isn't as difficult as it is in some other countries. For example, if I'm in Thailand and I see a pretty girl, the first thing I gotta do.
How was that going home? Was it because you hadn't been home in a couple of years?
Yeah,
then, right?
it was a couple years at least. So for me, it was bittersweet. You know,
Yeah.
it was just gloomy and dark and cold. It was only September. It was same as before, so I left again.
It's one of your favorite countries that you spend time in. I know it's so tough, right?
You know, I don't have a favorite country, but I do have favorites in different categories, like people, food, infrastructure, convenience, transport, like everything. The second thing is age gap. You know, a lot of people will come here and you can punch above your weight essentially. So if you're like 60 or 70, you still got a chance at a decent looking woman. Now, biggest tips, I think I have two. The first thing is to let go of any expectations you have.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So we have a little bit of an interview today. We're in Cebu, Philippines, and we have Alex with Living Abroad.
Hello, hello. How are you?
Pretty good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. To be honest, I'm doing great.
So when was the last time I saw you? What, a year and a half ago? We did that interview?
Yeah, I think it was about a year and a half ago,
It was
yeah.
in July. Yeah, that time I went south, and then I think, where did you went, you were living that day
I went
too,
back
right?
to Canada, I think, or at least, no,
Maybe shortly after that.
Shortly
huh?
after that, I went back to Canada, yeah.
And how long did you go back then?
I was only there for like, honestly, 3 weeks.
Oh, it was only that
Maybe
short,
4
huh?
weeks, and
4
I had
weeks?
to get out of there.
Yeah.
I was there just as long as until I received my India visa. So
Oh,
as a
that's
Canadian,
right.
we need the Indian visa, so I was just waiting for that to come, and as soon as it came in, I took off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
How was that going home? Was it because you hadn't been home in a couple of years then,
Yeah,
right?
it was a couple years at least. So for me, it was bittersweet. You know, it was nice to see my family. I got to play soccer with my crew, and everything was great in that sense.
Yeah.
It was good to try some of my favorite foods and snacks that I missed for a while, but
Yeah.
it was just gloomy and dark and cold. It was only September.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I'm like, it was same as before, so I left again.
Yeah. So were you happy that time to get out?
I was
Yeah.
very excited to leave. I was looking forward to my trip in India. So.
Yeah, yeah. And then what did you eat that you missed in?
Salt and vinegar chips.
Oh,
Sounds
shit,
simple,
nice.
but Lay's salt and
Oh,
vinegar
those
chips.
are the best, yeah.
Also, like obviously poutine, Harvey's burger that I couldn't find anywhere else. Just like basic stuff that I grew up eating that I couldn't find in other countries.
Yeah, nice. So we're in Cebu now, but yeah, I said seen you're in Dubai and so how was Dubai, by the way? It was,
Man, Dubai is insane. It's exactly how you'd imagine it. You know, it's like a playground for the rich. You know, you'll see Ferraris, Lambos, you know, Bugattis. I've been to hotels that I couldn't want to, like, it just felt uncomfortable for me. It wasn't who I was. I'm not bougie. Usually I'm in shorts and a t-shirt because the weather's hot.
Yeah.
But it's a really magnificent place as far as infrastructure. The people are so humble, even though I got all that money. You know, honestly,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of foreigners. I saw Filipinos there.
yeah.
Money's everywhere in Dubai, and I had like cappuccino at 7,000 pesos if you do the conversion,
What?
with like gold dust all over it.
$130 or something.
And I
huh?
still would rather have like a regular coffee from Starbucks.
Oh my
So,
God! Was
yeah.
that the ones where it's like they poop it out, like the
not
elephant or the
not
goat?
the civet one. No, this was like it just had gold shavings on it, like literal
Oh, okay,
gold
okay.
shavings. So I'm eating gold, I guess. It wasn't who I was. So.
Yeah. What made you
Yeah.
decide to do that? You're just
Well, actually, it was my family. So
Oh, okay.
because I have family there, and I went there for family reasons. So they really.
I think that's a fan right there,
I
right?
think so too. Maybe it recognizes you, my man.
Yeah.
So yeah, just family member took us out and just showed us around, and that was just one of the places we went.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Nice, that's cool. So yeah, I never because I've heard that Dubai has like obviously the extreme like high-end expensive, then also they'll have like hotels that are 30, 40, 50 bucks a night. Is that true?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay at the luxurious places because you have to remember, Dubai, there's a very few number of actual locals living there. The
Oh,
majority
okay.
are foreigners, workers, construction people, OFWs. So
Yeah.
the migrant workers, everybody's got to live somewhere, right? So they do have a lot more affordable options if you're on a budget, and it's still rather nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Were you just staying with your family, or did you actually like rent
I
an
was
Airbnb?
staying with
or
my
something?
family, so I went to Abu Dhabi actually, and I went to Dubai 3 or 4 times during my trip there. So I had a family member, I had a home in Abu Dhabi, so I went there.
Oh,
And I
nice.
stayed there. And then once I visited my family, I saw everything I wanted to see. I went to Istanbul, Turkey.
Oh, nice. Yeah, was that wasn't your first time, right?
That was my third time to Istanbul.
Yeah.
Oh man, Istanbul is like a whole other world, man. I love it.
What's a couple major points there?
You know, the thing I love about Istanbul, first of all, Turkey right now, unfortunately for them, the Turkish lira is really low. Like it's depreciating. So when I was there the first time, $1 was 8 lira. This time I went, $1 was 30 lira.
What?
So that's insane, right? So
that's 4 times.
4 times. I mean,
damn.
You don't get 4 times the value, but still, you get a lot more than you would back then. So cost of living is great. Also, you get a mixture of East and the West. Like Istanbul is the only city in the world where Europe meets Asia, literally. So you can get
interesting.
Asia and then Europe within 20 minutes taking a boat.
Yeah.
And you see that in the people, architecture, the food. And Istanbul itself got over 23, 24 million people. That's a lot of people in one city, right?
It's a huge city, yeah.
The history, the food, the people. The one thing I could not stand though about Istanbul and Turkey in general is the smoking. So if you don't smoke, smoking's everywhere. Cafes, restaurants, public parks, wherever you go, people do be smoking.
Wow.
Exactly.
It's a smoking culture,
Smoke culture is like really up there. Yeah.
Wow. So they had so what would you say one of your favorite things, just real quick, what's one favorite thing about there?
I'm trying to think.
Because it sounds like you said it's a big clash of Asia, Europe.
I've never been. Europe. I mean, the women are phenomenal. If you ever get into relationships and dating, they got some exotic women out there, and a lot of them are interested in foreigners because they're trying to get out of the situation that they're in, economically speaking as well. But they're all educated, it seems. So I was really surprised at the number of like graduates from university and colleges there. But one thing I do love has to be the food, man. Turkish food is some of my favorite, probably top 3 in the world. Yeah.
Damn, yeah, I love that. I love that kind of food too. Yeah.
The kebabs and donairs, just the meat,
Yeah, the goat. They have the goat and stuff.
Goat, the goat, the lamb, the mixture of meats, and it's not too spicy, but it's very flavorful.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. It's really good.
So you've been, so your channel's obviously living abroad, so you've been all around.
Yeah.
So what's one of your favorite countries that you spent time in? I know it's so tough, right?
It's tough.
I know, and if you can even answer it, because for me it's hard for me to answer that,
Yeah, it's like asking your favorite kid. Even though I don't have kids, I'd imagine it'd be the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite country, but I do have favorites in different categories, like people, food, infrastructure, convenience, transport, like everything. I think is a country that meets a certain thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's easier if I break it down that way. So for food, I'm gonna have to go with India, man. Indian food is just on another level. And people have these like extreme videos about street food. It's not all like that. There's a lot of clean street Indian
food.
Where
they're just like dipping their hands in
They're just smacking it under the pin. Some of the shit's like ridiculous, right? Yeah. They're like clawing with their toes and anyways. It's not all like that.
So you're not seeing that like in every market?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. So that, they do that for views, obviously, and I get it. There are places like that, but they're doing it purposely. So the food for food. Transportation, it'd have to be Taipei, Taiwan, man. That was I was amazed how connected they were with buses, trains, everything, So really easy to get around. People, hands down, is the Philippines. The Filipino people are some of the friendliest people I've ever come across. And although I don't think other cultures are not friendly, I think in the Philippines, because majority speak English, you just have an easy way of like talking to them. Have a deeper conversation than just hello, how are you doing? That kind of thing. Safety, what else?
Convenience.
Convenience, probably Bangkok. Just Thailand. From food, transportation, your home, your accommodation, internet, everything that you need for your day-to-day life, gym, pool, all that. I think Bangkok provides it all within, like, where I live in Bangkok usually, for example, there's been like weeks where I don't even get out the compound. I'm like, I haven't been outside, just because everything is in there, right? So you get everything from the gym, pool, cafes, restaurants, everything you could possibly want within like a 20 meters.
It's like a block almost.
It's like a block, exactly. And it's got nice condos and high-speed internet. So different countries for different reasons. I think one of the countries that surprised me the most was probably Georgia. I had no idea what it was and where it was or anything. I just went because it's close to Turkey. And the people, they seem cold because they are cold, I guess, even by temperature, but they're super friendly over there. So that was kind of
Georgia?
Cool. Georgia, yeah.
Okay. And then what about dating? That was the final one, right?
Yeah, dating. Philippines again. I think if you can't find a date in the Philippines, you're not gonna find a date anywhere. And I think a lot of that comes down for Probably a couple reasons. I think Filipinos are exposed to the West a lot, so they're familiar with you coming to them, approaching them. They speak English, and, and of course, it's still a developing country, so some people would actually date you for greener pastures. I'm not here to tell people who they should or should not date, but your chances definitely increase if you're in the Philippines, regardless of why they're into you. Your dating game definitely goes to another level here in the Philippines.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with the dating. That's the same. I think that's pretty unanimous. But so what do you? So you've been overseas for years now.
Yeah.
So and your channel's gotten pretty big now. So what do you what's kind of on the horizon for you?
You know, I'm kind of between like two places. You know, a part of me wants to stay here in the Philippines because I enjoy it. The channel does really well in the Philippines. There's a lot of interest here. But a part of me still wants to go back to my roots and why I left Canada. I want to explore and travel and see different countries. So I'm always stuck between two minds, you know. Every time I'm in the Philippines, because I've been here like 3, 4, maybe even 5 times, I lost track. Every time I'm here, the channel really takes off. But I leave at the peak always. So I always leave when it's the most successful, because I've already spent 2 or 3 months, even 6 months or longer here. And I feel like it's time to like just go explore somewhere different. So right now I think I'm gonna make the Philippines my base. So I'll come back here because I really enjoy here. I come back here because I know people here, I feel comfortable here. I have a small network of people here that I really enjoy, right? So I'd always come back here. But I think sooner or later I'd have to go and see a different country. Now I don't know where that is right now, but I want to continue traveling because I'm relatively young, I'm healthy, I have no commitments, I have no dependents, I have no nothing, and I have this opportunity. So it'll be a waste for me to just sit here because I can always come back, and the Philippines not going anywhere.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we'll kind of swing around and go back to the dating. So what I mean, why is it number one? You know, what is it? Is there any other countries that are close second? Is it a look thing, a cultural thing?
So the reason why the Philippines, I think it's easier to date people, I think it stems from traditional family values. I just feel like men are still looked at as men, number one. So there's no competition like it is in the West. I feel like typically Filipinos, when they start dating you, they kind of know their role in a relationship. Usually they're caring type. They want to support you in any way. Women, if you have, like, even on a first date, if you bring them back to your place, they'll just start cleaning. you know? You can never expect that in the West, right? Like, so when it comes, so I think men just generally tend to be drawn towards women like that, right? So real men still want real traditional women. So that's one thing. The second thing I think is just Filipinas, I feel like they're always like on their phone, so they do see a lot of Western culture and influence. So if a guy comes up to them, approaches them, talks to them, they're a little bit more open and receptive of that. So approaching women here isn't as difficult as it is in some other countries. For example, if I'm in Thailand and I see a pretty girl, the first thing I gotta do is ask her if she even speaks English. You know, that alone is like a big barrier to overcome. Over here, I can go and make a joke to somebody about their elbows and they'll laugh, and next thing you know, we broke the ice, you know? So that kind of goes out the window. And also, let me just wait for this man to walk by. I lost my train of thought, but I was saying...
with the...
the women, right? The second thing is age gap. You know, a lot of people will come here and you can punch above your weight, essentially. So if you're like 60 or 70, you still got a chance at a decent looking woman. Now, bear in mind, that doesn't mean she only wants you for your looks. You have to be open and understand that they probably want some kind of financial support, compensation, or you know, the family. But I don't think any 70, 80-year-old man cares at that point. You know, I think it's an obvious thing, and people want to point that out. We all know what's going on. I mean, but I don't like when men on other YouTube channels come out here and say, oh, you could date a girl that's 20, but they fail to mention, but what cost, or what are you exchanging for, right? But the thing is, you cannot do that in the West unless you have millions of dollars, right? So that's the only difference. It's the same kind of principle, but that goes a lot lower here, and it's a lot more attainable or achievable for a regular guy, for sure.
So real quick though, what's your second favorite?
Dating?
Or we can even, let's just say off of looks, even if we just want to keep it real generic, you know?
Looks?
That you've been to, places you've been to or traveled.
Armenia.
Oh, Armenia? Oh man, see, I don't even know.
Exactly, that caught you guys off guard, yo. So I took a train to Armenia, and I'm in, I forgot the name, the city I was in. But I went from Georgia to Armenia for like 2 weeks, I think it was at the time. And this was during COVID and whatever. So, and I'm walking around and pretty much every girl looked like Kim K before she got all the plastic stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what their blood is, right?
I think so.
Oh,
And I didn't
okay,
know that
okay.
until afterwards. I'm like, wow, these girls have got like really dark skin, like really tan skin, dark hair, like beautiful eyebrow, different facial structures. And I'm like,
Nice features, yeah.
There's very attractive people there, but the guys were also attractive, so I had to compete in that sense. And one thing that really surprised me was how fashionable they were. I had no idea that they kept up with their fashion. I've said this before on my channel. Usually I'm in a t-shirt and shorts because of comfort level. Like I'm not out here trying to impress people, but I felt like I had to start dressing a little bit better just from being in Armenia itself, in that city I was for a couple of days.
Wow, crazy. Yeah, it's like that in Korea.
I imagine.
Yeah, dude, they're real, all meticulously. I saw very few dirty shoes. They all look.
Goodness.
Yeah, it was just everything was. Yeah.
Seems like too much work.
Yeah, it was.
Not the type of place I want to be in. I mean, I'm sure it's beautiful and all that, but if you don't grow up in that kind of society and culture, then if you just go there with your backpack or like a suitcase, you might want to reconsider your, what you're dressing like. So yeah.
I hear you. That's cool, man. So, you have any plans going back to Canada? And do you have anything? Are you pretty much you're overseas for good now, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say for good, but for now, at this stage of my life, yeah, for good. I don't have any reason to go back unless it's a family emergency, some kind of government issue, or if I'm near. Because the next time I go to Canada, it's gonna be just for one of those reasons. And I plan to go south. I'm gonna go to Mexico, Brazil, like I want to go Argentina, Peru. All those countries, whatever's in my way is getting taken over by me. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Like I don't care how the views are on the channel or what happens. I'm gonna try to support myself and get to those countries.
Yeah. So you really want to go over there? Have you been over to Colombia anywhere yet?
Nowhere. That's the thing.
Yeah, me either.
That's where I want to go because like I just went east when I left Canada. I need to start going south.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, man. Well, is there anything? Well, I guess we'll kind of wrap it up with the typical. Just any tips for for the guys that are coming out here. Just I guess for people that are coming back or just the first time coming out. Just
no. My biggest tips, I think I have two. The first thing is to let go of any expectations you have. So whether you're watching Aaron's videos, my videos, some other random YouTube videos, don't come here expecting anything. When you have that, you are just opening yourself up for failure and disappointment, no matter what. So let go of those kind of like thoughts. Secondly is to not commit too soon. Don't commit to anything. Come here, get a lay of the land, understand the culture, the people. Even if you have amazing dates, don't commit to that girl because you don't know her. It's gonna take time to get to know somebody. Even if you have a nice apartment, do not rent a place for a year because you never know when the roaches start coming out or the construction begins or some other thing. So don't commit to anything and just get accustomed to the lay of the land before you commit.
Yeah, nice. That's great. That's great advice. And then real quick, bro, your channel, you just you want to just talk about your channel?
Oh yeah, so I have a YouTube channel called Living Abroad, and usually I just make videos from different countries I travel to, and just street interviews for men, women, foreigners, locals. That's it.
Nice. All right, brother. All right, man. It's good to see you again.
You as well.
All right, bro.